I'm Nick Purdy, the owner of the Double R Ranch, along with my wife and my 3 sons. The Double R was purchased in the 70s and combined with our main ranch, Picabo Livestock Company, which was run by my father and myself. The Double R was a dairy ranch with a milking barn and loafing sheds and corrals along the creek where houses are now. 400 head of dairy cattle were grazed on the creek. There was a 1900s house that has been remodeled and is used now as a rental. But all the corrals and milk parlor and sheds were torn down. The old barn that was built in the early 1900s still stands and is used for storage. The Kilpatricks, who were patriarchs of the Purdys, took up some 3,000 acres in 1886 from the Double R to below Picabo under desert entry. They did not acquire the Double R property because probably most likely someone else had beat them to it. However, the Kills built the dam in 1883 and even had plans to produce electricity from the dam and run power lines to Picabo. They envisioned Picabo as a big development someday. I worked for the ranch from the age of 5 until I went to the University of Idaho and studied engineering and got married to Sharon. Upon returning from college, I got involved with the Double R, and I became concerned about the uses on the Double R. From years of pasturing cattle on the creek by us and others, the banks were torn down and the vegetation along the creek was very sparse. There were no willows or trees on the creek, and there was a large accumulation of silt in the pond and the creek. However, fishing was good, and people wanted to fish the waters. I convinced my parents that we could sell a fishing trespass permit to help raise money for the ranch. The first one we sold for $100. In 1992, I convinced my parents to give a non-development easement to the Nature Conservancy on nearly 5,000 acres of the ranch to preserve the ranch for future generations. We received no monetary benefits from the Conservancy or the government, but it was the right thing to do. We were allowed 5 home sites on the Double R that were strictly regulated by the easement as to size and type of construction. The Double R Ranch has a pond with a dam that raises the creek high enough so water will flow out the southeast end down a canal to irrigate the Picabo Livestock Ranch. In 1999, I contracted with Jim Adams, the excavator, to try and remove some silt from the pond. It became very evident that it was going to be a huge project to clean the pond of silt and that I needed a plan and money for the cleaning. The old dam needed replaced, and that work would need permits from the agencies, which was going to take time and money. Because of my engineering background, I realized that the silt in the creek could be removed naturally by narrowing the creek so as to increase the velocity of the water and keep the silt in suspension so the water would move with the silt on down out of the Double R. The pictures to follow show a history of the methods used to narrow the creek and the use of machinery to clean the pond. Also, in areas of the creek that are not conducive to narrowing, the pictures show the dredging of the silt and the pumping of it out into the fields adjacent to the creek. Also, they show the revegetation of the stream banks and the planting of thousands of plants and willows. The pictures were taken by our first stream keeper, Travis, by me, and by Jim Adams, who was a contractor with the big stick machines, who has been so instrumental in doing the hard work. The members of the Double R have been very generous in helping the ranch with donations to conduct the work you will see. This is a 1992 photo of the ranch showing the dairy ranch with the pond plugged up with moss and the stream wide with no willows or trees on it and no vegetation on the banks left by the grazing cattle. This is a 2016 photo showing the pond cleaned out and willows and vegetation planted on the stream banks and the stream narrowed. This is the ranch in '80s with a dairy milking building and corrals for dairy heifers. The only trees in the ranch were around the tenant house. No willows on the creek, and the banks are grazed off by the dairy heifers. This is a 2006 photo showing the creek silted in and very wide in front of the cabins. No willows or vegetation along the creek. This is a 2008 photo showing the creek very wide and silted in. This is my father, Bud Purdy, and stream planter Guy Bonavere, who was instrumental in directing the early work. Work here was to narrow the creek and thereby increase the velocity of the water to carry the silt downstream to the Snake River. A silt fence is being built to show the outline of the new stream and to give an area to work in to contain the turbidity that results from the work. The machines are building a new bank and an island with the silt. The coconut fiber bales installed by the workers here are put on the new bank outline to hold the bank until it vegetates. Dirt is scraped off the bank and dozed in to make the creek narrower. The dirt is pushed out of the field and placed in the new stream bank by the machines. Vegetation is dug up on the ranch and hauled in to put on the creek banks. The planting of grass plugs would take years to vegetate, but this method is instantaneous. This shows the new narrowed bank taking shape after it was vegetated. This is an outline of the new bank across from the sign-in camp. No willows or shrubs on the south bank yet. This picture shows the section below the bridge, and the gravel is showing along with the ripples because of the increased velocity of the water that is needed to move the silt out of the creek. 500 feet a year was about all that could be done, and that cost about $300 a foot. Ranch money and generous member donations made it possible. This is the creek below the bridge and is finished. Note the vegetated banks and gravel in the creek. This was about 2009. This is the creek below the bridge in 2010 with walkways installed and vegetation doing well. It's the creek below the bridge in 2014 with a new island that was built in front of the Adios cabin. This is some more narrowing of the creek from beat 12 down to beat 7. Took 4 years to get from beat 12 to beat 7. It's risky working with this machinery, as this picture shows. Nobody was hurt. This is the new creek bank at beat 10 in 2014. Here we're narrowing the creek at beat 9. The silt fence is to keep turbidity out of the creek. The bank is established with willows and sod planted at beat 9. There were no willows on the bank at this time, but there are a lot of them now. This shows beat 10 that's been significantly narrowed, and willows and grass are being planted. This shows beats 10, 9, and 8 that are vegetated and narrowed, and logs were placed in the creek and willows were installed. And this was taken in 2015. At beat 8, new willows are planted with ones dug up on the farm, and ponds of water are in the new bank for insects to live and hatch in. At beat 10, logs are installed for fish protection and stream diversity. In 2018, logs and rocks were installed from the highway bridge up to beat 0 in the newly dredged area. In 1999, I had a long reach excavator reach out as far as he could and remove the silt and place it on the banks and make a peninsula out of it. In 2000, the dirt was farmed down and planted. The peninsula was planted with willows around the edge. The south bank was grazed heavily, but not now. The idea of cleaning the pond seemed to be impossible, but we didn't give up. I thought all was lost, but with a lot of help and power, the day was saved. Gary McStay came to the rescue with his excavator, and with our D7 cat, we got it out. In 2005, I worked with Brockway Engineering to make a plan to clean the pond. It called for digging the silt and making islands. See the red showing the island banks. The banks were made out of the silt, and in the middle of them where the yellow is, that was the original pond, and that was for rearing of insects and fish. Here the dredge is at work below the Kilpatrick Bridge in the pond. The cutter head works under the water, and the big pump sends the water with silt down a 1,200-foot pipeline into the adjacent field. It is very labor intensive to manage the pipeline. The dredge was used again from beat 7 to beat 5 in 2015 and 2016 and 2017. In 2018, we dredged from the highway bridge up to Dad's Beat. The cost of the dredging so far is over $350,000. However, sections of the creek that can't be narrowed to match the flow velocity of the water to the width of the creek have to be dredged now and probably will in later years. Rocks were stockpiled to be placed in the pond. The dredge made a pass up the north end of the pond to the Nature Conservancy. The bypass channel is ready to open and start draining the pond, so work on cleaning the pond can begin in the fall of 2015. My idea was to move the mud into islands in the pond to store it, but we had to remove as much of the water as possible. The work had to be done in the fall and winter so the ranch could get its irrigation water in the summer. The whole purpose of the pond is to raise the water high enough to take the irrigation water out in a canal on the southeast end of the pond where the headgate is. Therefore, a bypass was dug to take the creek around the pond to dry it up as much as possible. The bypass was lined to prevent erosion because the whole of Silver Creek was going to run in it for nearly 6 months. With the bypass taking the water around the pond, the excavators started moving the mud into islands. Under the mud was a layer of gravel, and as long as the excavators were on the gravel, they could work. The gravel has cool water springing up out of it, which helps the creek stay cooler in the summer. The silt was 6 feet deep in places and had been accumulating since 1882 when the pond was built. Livestock in the headwaters of the creek are partially to blame for the silt, but farming practices, wind, fires, dust from roads, animals, etc. are all part of the problem. At times we had 3 machines working at $300 an hour. Generous donors and the ranch helped pay for the work. The job was not easy, but we were persistent to get it done. To be able to work on top of the silt, we had to make some pads for the machines to work off of. The amount of silt was hard to imagine. Note the gravel under the silt that made it possible to work in the pond. Several dams have been used to raise the pond. Lumber planks were used to stop the water. This dam let the warm water off of the top of the dam to spill into the creek. A new dam was also part of the pond project. I had an idea of a dam designed to let cold water from the bottom of the pond go into the creek instead of warm water over the top. The pipes with the cold water lowers the creek temperature about 2 degrees, which is a big deal for the fish in the summer. The old dam let the warm water come over the top. The long pipes made it possible to have a sloping spillway for a fish ladder over the dam. The dam cost was about $100,000, which was funded by the ranch and generous donors. The dam was installed while the pond was drained and being cleaned. It had to be finished by spring when the pond had to be filled for irrigation. The fish ladder was to help fish go upstream and spawn. Grass and willows were dug above the pond in a field to get vegetation to be planted around the pond. Grass and willows were moved around on Teflon sleds and planted by the excavator. Rocks from an adjacent field were hauled and placed all around the pond and the islands for fish habitat for insects. This is the pond in the summer of 2015 with the vegetation starting to grow. The ponds inside the islands were untouched and are the original depth of the old pond and were left for young fish to hide and for insects to propagate. On the north end of the pond, the channel around the island was cleaned and made back to its original shape of 1990. In 2018, the creek from the highway bridge to Bud's Beat was dredged, and in the fall, logs and rocks were installed to give the fish some protection and to create diversity in the stream. Willows were dug in the fall of 2018 on the ranch and planted along the creek where the dredging had taken place over the last 3 years. The willows will help lower the stream temperature and give the fish some protection and give the insects a place to hatch and live. The machines are installing the rocks and willows and logs in the fall of 2018. The cost is over $40,000. The willows dug up and installed in the dredged area will flourish next year. All the willows and vegetation planted over the years make the caddis thick, along with many other fish-friendly insects. The habitat of the willows and grasses make them flourish. The fish like the gravel for spawning. Jerry's rainbow fish in the new pond. Molly's happy with this brown caught on a mouse at night. Holly's fish on the double R. Brett has a big brown fish in the pond. Pete loved to fish the pond and we miss him. Jim Adams and Sherry, who have been instrumental in everything to do with the double R. Jim is a contractor who has the big excavators which did all the heavy excavating on the double R since 1999. Jim and I would meet every day and come up with plans for the creek work. His wife Sherry takes care of him, and she was my dad's and mother's caregiver for 20 years and made their last years very worthwhile. Sherry was married to Travis, the double R streamkeeper, until his death in 2006, for whom the gazebo is dedicated to. The work on the double R is made possible by the generous donation of its members. Thank you.